This, Mr Deputy President, is a budget of broken promises, a budget of deep unfairness, bad economics and big lies. It is a budget which will take this nation backwards. The budget is not only unfair social policy, we say it is also bad economics. And when it comes to the medium term, the economic reforms Australia needs to keep growing for the future, this is an extraordinarily short-sighted budget. As our population ages, Australia needs to boost workforce participation. We need to improve our workforce skills and we need to lift our workforce productivity. But the budget contains policies which are bad for participation, bad for skills and bad for productivity. It cuts $80 billion from schools and hospitals over the next 10 years, cuts which will jeopardise our future economic prosperity, because employers need our young people to emerge from schools with a quality education and the skills needed to make a contribution in the workforce of tomorrow. Yet we have a budget that is slashing schools funding. What effect will this have? It will have a direct impact on the education of the next generation of Australians. It will mean fewer teachers in classrooms. It will mean fewer opportunities for children from disadvantaged backgrounds to get a quality education. And this isn't just unfair. This doesn't just deny opportunities to the individual children concerned. It is bad for workforce skills and productivity. This budget makes $5 billion in cuts to universities and higher education. $5 billion of cuts to universities and higher education. Those cuts will also hurt our economy. It will mean higher student fees, less public investment in university teaching per student, and increasing debts for students with higher interest rates on those larger debts. Our future competitiveness will depend on having enough graduates in disciplines like science, technology, engineering and mathematics, yet we have a government whose approach is to cut investment in universities and to deter people from going on to higher education. And, Mr Deputy President, the health cuts, the radical and drastic cuts in this budget, again, the cuts the Prime Minister promised would not happen, will also have adverse long-term economic impacts. You don't foster workforce participation and productivity by undermining access to health care. Yet that is what this government is doing. You don't ensure the health dollar is spent most effectively by undermining primary health care, which is precisely what this budget does through the new GP tax and medicines tax. Primary and community health care helps to keep people out of hospital. This is a fundamental principle of health economics, one that the government does not want to heed. Mr Deputy President, the budget cuts to investment in health, universities and schools are bad economic policy as well as bad social policy. As I said at the outset, Mr Deputy President, budgets reveal the values and priorities of a government. Budgets also reveal the character of those who lead governments. And what does this budget reveal? It reveals a Prime Minister who did not tell Australians the truth about his plans before the last election. A Prime Minister breaking not just one promise, but every promise he made before the election. In fact, the Prime Minister's deception has now reached breathtaking levels, because last week in the House of Representatives he made the risible claim, "This is a fundamentally fair budget." This is a fundamentally fair budget. Well, it is nothing of the sort. It is a fundamentally unfair budget. Consistent with long-standing principles, the opposition will not oppose the passage of these appropriation bills. But when the government brings forward its broken promises, like the GP tax, the cuts to pensions, into this parliament, Labor will fight with everything we have against these socially regressive and economically damaging measures. We on this side of the chamber will continue to stand up for the fair go.